I get a feeling it's going to be a riot.
I don't read the newspapers because they all have ugly print.
At the starting of the week, at so many talks you'll hear them speak. It's only Monday. Negotiations breaking down. See the leaders start to frown. It's more than Monday.
We are back with another edition of your favorite morning show, The Daily Dose on the Gorilla Radio Network.
You'll be sitting, taking lunch. The news will hit you like a punch. It's only Tuesday.
But Simon,
You never
Ask your doctor if the Daily Dose is right for you. Common side effects include sarcasm, informed opinions, and wondering how the hell these people got elected. The Daily Dose starts now.
but Simon,
Tomorrow never comes until it's too late. Tomorrow never comes.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing today on this beautiful Wednesday morning? I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I appreciate that. It is July 29th, and it is 8:32 in the morning. The year is well more than halfway over. This year has just flown by at rapid velocity. It's insane how fast the years just fly by. Once you get past 30 years old, for all of you kids out there that are watching, once you get past 30, the years just seem like days. You know what I mean? And then they just fly by and they fly by. And it's incredible. It really is. Everyone says that that's old, like time just flies. And the older I get, the more I realize that those old folks that said that to me, they're right. I wanted nothing more than to get out of high school when I was in school. And it seemed like it took an eternity to get out. And then I finally did, started my career, and the days and the months and the years just fly by with reckless abandon. Incredible. But anyway, that's my little introduction for today's show. First of all, before we get into the show, I want to really send out a nice thank you to all the followers and all the viewers that are out there. I've been doing these daily posts, little reels on here, just little snippets and highlights of the show, picking up followers left and right for the show. And the views on these clips and these reels are anything less than impressive, or nothing less than impressive. You know what I mean? It's incredible the amount of attention that the show's picking up. So thank you everyone for paying attention, watching my little clips and highlights, and thank you for all the people that like and follow. I really, really appreciate it. As we continue down this journey together, hopefully the show gets bigger and bigger, and people recognize it and they pay more attention to it, and they find my humor to be something that's funny, or maybe not. Who knows? But nonetheless, I wanted to say thank you to everyone that's been watching and paying attention to the show, because we've been doing it for a little while now, but I'm just now starting to realize how these algorithms work, and what you need to do in order to get more notoriety. And as I'm slowly figuring this process out, obviously what I'm doing is on the right path. So thank you again to everyone. And we're going to keep going. We're going to keep doing this show no matter what. Now, many people hate us, or no matter how many people hate us, or, hopefully more people love us. But, with all the people that hate us out there, that's even better. I love it. I love combating. So that one thing I'm good at, that's arguing and shit talking. Yeah, I can do that better than most. And I invite it into my life. I do. Without chaos, my life would be completely boring. So yes, thank you. Good show today. Really good show. I think I got some good stuff lined up. We've got peeping toms. Of course, we got local weather. We've got two people that got whacked in the same day by the Florida justice system, which is kind of cool in my opinion. I like that. We got DUI charges. We've got Trump making outrageous statements again in the news, which is outstanding because I always look forward to that. And then we've got a little bit of douchebag news to back it all up. And right before I do the clip, I'll explain the douchebag comment that I'm referring to. So without any delay, let's move forward. Let's go ahead and get the local weather started. This is for the Tampa Bay, Palm Harbor, St. Petersburg, Sarasota, Bradenton, and surrounding area. If you're not living in any of those areas, this may not apply to you, but it does to the people that I just spoke about. So if you don't live here, yeah, go get yourself a cup of coffee and relax for the next 2.5, 3 minutes.
Hey, we had some showers early this morning, right around the Longboat Key area. These tiny little tropical downpours, they're not doing much. They're not lasting all that long. We do have a lot more out here over the Gulf, and with that west wind, and it's going to be a brisk one today, unfortunately, folks. I think what you're looking at is that these showers to pour along the shore and then eventually move inland. Now, with that west wind picking up to 15 to 20 knots, boaters, now we're in a position where choppy conditions are expected, and the small craft exercise caution flags are out to go along with the rip currents. And I noticed it last week because I was at the beach last week, and it was like the Gulf was just kind of angry, and then the rip currents were kind of rough. That's what we're headed back into over the next 2 or 3 days. Just a heads up if you're heading off to the beach. We got to the lower 90s yesterday. It was nice because, you know, we were able to get some sunshine, which we didn't have the day before. And we'll get a little sunshine to mix in for today, get us right back up in the lower 90s. Upper 70s this morning, New Tampa, Plant City. I got Brandon at 79, West Chase at 81. It's 80 in Weeki Wachee this morning, also 82 in Bradenton. Oh boy, real stuffy for Venice and Englewood at about 84 degrees and upper 70s for our inland locations. Frontal system to the north. So because we're going to get a huge heat dome in the middle of the country, it's going to force the jet stream to dip way down into the deep south. And that's going to take this front to northern Florida. And as it does, that's going to get us a little extra lift, a little extra focus for some showers and storms. Now, today's rain chances at about 50%. Tomorrow, as this front comes into the state, rain chances start to go up. You see the red on this map. That is really, really deep tropical moisture. Think big downpours when you're seeing this red. And then here's tomorrow morning at about 11:30. And then going into Friday, we're looking at maybe not as much moisture, but still more of these scattered showers and storms. And our rain chances stay elevated really all the way through the weekend before maybe knocking them back down a little bit early next week. So here's your 50-50 rain chance today. There'll be some scattered showers and storms around, and then during the afternoon, kind of pushing everything inland. Then tomorrow's a little different because that front comes into play. And notice by around 6 o'clock tomorrow, pretty solid shield of rain moving into the area. I think tomorrow's going to be a much wetter day than today overall. And between now and early next week, look at the rainfall totals that are expected from the Big Bend, the Nature Coast, all the way down to maybe northern portions of Manatee County. Several inches of rain are still expected to accumulate. And we talked about this yesterday. No individual day is going to be a washout, although I think you're going to see a lot more rain tomorrow than we are today. So tropical downpours to the tune of about 50-50 today. We've also got the caution flags out there on the coastal waters. Rip currents getting up there as well. 60 to 70% rain chances tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and again on Sunday.
Rip currents. If you're not familiar with rip currents, they're absolutely terrifying. Basically, they flow in the out of nowhere. They just kind of form right there in sitting water, and they just swirl and they suck you in and they pull you out to sea, despite your efforts to escape them. So basically, what they tell you to do if you're ever caught in the middle of a rip current is to swim sideways at an angle instead of going what would be forward and backward. You go left and right to try to swim out of it, because the farther or the harder you try to swim forward to get back to shore, the harder the current is going to take you out to sea and ultimately drown you. So that's my PSA for today, public service announcement. If you ever get yourself caught in a rip current, swim sideways, all right, with just a slight angle to get back to the shore. Okay, eventually you'll get out of the rip current, then you can swim forward. You'll know when you're out of it. But they are terrifying, the rip currents, from what I understand. Fortunately, I've never been caught in one before, but you know, coming from the Tampa Bay area, beaches all around, and severe weather quite a bit every now and again. You know, we're very familiar with these rip currents in the area, and we kind of know how to avoid them or not get caught in them at least, or and if we do get caught, how to escape them. So that's my PSA for today. Rip Currents, take it or leave it. I really don't give a fuck what you do. That's what I do, though. I give you the hard-hitting information that you want to know about. I'm going to lead into the show with this story. You know, in Florida, excuse me, we have some very opinionated sheriffs. Obviously, Grady Judd. I don't remember the guy's name out of Brevard, but he's rather opinionated as well. Gualtieri, our great sheriff in Pinellas County. And, you know, if you know anything about Florida, over the course of the last, I don't even know, X amount of years since DeSantis has been in office, we don't really take a lot of shit, apparently, you know what I mean, as a state. So now what we've done to reinforce that fact is we had a double execution on the same day. These two guys have been on death row for quite some time, and they decided that no better time than the present to go ahead and kill them both on the same day. And I don't disagree with it. I do not disagree with it in the least. I say, you know, make it 10 a day until we get them all off of death row. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Get them all done. Knock them all out in 1 month. Get them all done. Who cares?
The state of Florida is about to do something that has not been done here in more than 60 years. Execute 2 people on the same day, 5 hours apart. Early this afternoon, the state executed former Mascot police officer James Duckett for the murder of an 11-year-old girl. And in a couple of hours, 80-year-old Dominic Ochikone will become the oldest prisoner to be executed in Florida. He was convicted of killing his ex-girlfriend's parents 40 years ago. West News' Justin Shacker live outside the Florida State Prison near Stark. Justin, there has not been a day like this since the 60s in Florida.
That's right, Jesse. And since the U.S. Supreme Court reinstated the death penalty in 1976, this is the first time the state of Florida is executing 2 death row inmates on the same day. Witnesses say James Duckett had no final words before he received his lethal injection just after 1 this afternoon.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, that one guy, whatever the hell his name was, the second guy they were talking about, he literally sat on death row for 40 goddamn years. 40 years he sat on death row. We're just feeding him. We're clothing him. We're bathing him. He's just living it up, living the good life in prison. Knows he's never going to get out, so he's making the best of what he's got. For 40 years, that fucking guy sat on death row until we finally decided to execute him, which makes him the oldest person to be executed in the state of Florida. Why didn't we just do it when he got convicted 40 years ago? You know, give it a little bit of time, maybe manipulate the justice system a little bit to give them, you know, some rights. I'm not saying give them, you know, a ton of rights, but, you know, all right. So like, here's the rule. All right, you get convicted today of murder, heinous crime, murder. We're going to give your attorneys 5 years to figure out how to get you out of this mess, if it is at all possible. And if after 5 years, they cannot figure out a way to get you out, or you can't figure out a way to get yourself out to prove your innocence, we're just going to, on the first day of year number 6, you're going right to Old Sparky, and we're going to sit you down on that chair. We're going to electrocute your ass, or we're going to shove that needle in your arm, and we're going to make sure that you die a lot. You know, that's the way it should be handled. Give them a little bit of time, you know what I mean? Because sometimes they're innocent, and they get wrongfully convicted. So we'll give you 4 or 5 years, you know, to prove your innocence. And if you can't get it done in 5 years, then you're probably not going to get it done in 40 years. Let's be honest with each other. And just kill this fucking guy. Get it over with. Get it over with. You know, imagine how much money we'll save in taxes if we don't have to feed these fucking idiots every day 3 square meals. If we don't have to use water to bathe them that we have to pay for. If we don't have to have, you know, prison guards, you know, to watch them, you know, they can focus on other things to do throughout the course of their day than worry about these idiots that are going to be executed regardless. Just get it done. Get it the fuck done. Yeah, well, I'm going to run for office, I guess. I'll get it done. Moving on. Who in this crowd that's watching this show today is a fan of the television game show Jeopardy? I myself am a big fan of Jeopardy, and sometimes I really do well, and sometimes I really bomb. Lately, I've been on a losing streak. You know what I mean? I'm like a helpless little kid there trying to find answers. You know what I mean? I try to watch it as much as I can if I'm home from work. Usually, I get to see maybe 2 episodes a week on my days off, and maybe I'll be able to catch it, you know, like a replay. But you know, sometimes though, however, I will absolutely crush it. And I'm like, God, I'm finally, it's come to fruition. I am the smartest man on the face of the planet. That's how I feel sometimes. But more often than not, 9 times out of 10, I feel like the biggest buffoon on the face of the planet because I can't get any of the answers correct. So those odd days where I'm good, man, it's like a celebration. You know what I mean? I'm popping corks. You know what I mean? I'm making it rain. That's what the kids say these days, making it rain. Now, this guy said, Ken, I'll take cameras for 2,000.
A former game show champion is back in court in North Carolina. As we reported, it was cameras that made this Jeopardy contestant famous, and it was cameras that got him in trouble with the law.
Phil DeSena is accused of using cameras to spy on a victim in Currituck County. Back in June, a judge rejected his guilty plea. 10 on your side's Nick Broadway explains what happened in court today.
The Jeopardy champ and former YouTuber learned his sentence today after entering a plea arrangement in court. At the same time, we're also learning more details about the case itself. State prosecutors told the judge Currituck County deputies were called on October 10th of last year. The victim told officers she was in town for a wedding and found 2 cameras in the bedroom and bathroom of the Corolla rental home where she was staying. They were black USB wall chargers with cameras inside. Detectives looked through the cameras, linking them to 44-year-old Philip DeSena. He was charged in December with 2 counts of felony secret peeping. In court today, DeSena entered the plea arrangement. He does not have to register as a sex offender. DeSena completed a psychosexual evaluation 5 days ago, concluding he's at low risk to reoffend. As part of the plea deal, he must serve 60 months of supervised probation and take part in regular mental health assessments. DeSena's attorney pointed out he's married with 2 small children. Though he has a physics degree and a career with solar panels, he's currently a, quote, full-time dad. DeSena himself told the court he is, quote, deeply sorry, recognizing how much this affected certain people and does not expect forgiveness.
What a fucking weirdo, right? I mean, this guy, he's got his Airbnb or his whatever set up, and you hear about this all the time. It's crazy. You know what I mean? They've got little hidden secret cameras all over the place inside of the rooms. You know what I mean? These people are just, they're nuts. You know, they're weird. And they enjoy, I guess, watching unsuspecting people use the toilet, maybe take a little poopy, you know, maybe take a little tinkle wink, or possibly take a shower. Who knows? You know what I mean? Then, of course, in the bedroom where they get to see the brown chicken, brown cow going on. You know what I mean? Yeah, they like to watch that live. They like to watch it live, not on Memorex. The kids don't know what I'm talking about, but you do if you're not a kid. Yeah, so this guy's he's a fucking peeping Tom, and he was a champion on Jeopardy. I'll take cameras for 2,000, Ken. Moving on. Donald Trump is back in the news. Donnie T is back in the news.
Welcome to the shit show. Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery, 'cause everybody's such a shit.
Welcome to What It Do with Donnie T, where the nation pauses to see if anything got done today, or if the presidency is just a full-time job posting on Truth Social all day and all night once again. Let's check it out and see. Here we go. Donnie T making outrageous accusations like he invented the question mark. Thank you, Dr. Evil, for that direct quote. I appreciate that. He didn't actually say that he invented the question mark. That was not Donald Trump that said that. That was Dr. Evil's father from the great Austin Powers series. As he was sitting in the counseling class with his son, he had to give a little speech about himself, and he was talking about his childhood. It was typical. Summer Zoom Rangoon luge lessons. But nonetheless, let's get back to Donnie T. So Donnie T apparently has done more for these workers than their own parents. And he tells you, and he means it. Again, not again, but I'm just saying it for the first time, but I apologize for this video. Donnie T's head is cut off in this video, but you can certainly see the subtitles and you can hear exactly what he's saying. So enjoy, my friends. Enjoy.
The people that count, those people love Trump. Because I've done more for you than your parents, okay? Your parents are good. I'm not going to knock your parents, but I have been better to you than your parents. That I can tell you.
How about that? Donnie T, he's just sweeping the nation. He's doing way better things for us than our parents and the workers that are sitting behind him at that press conference or that rally that he's at right there that he's hosting. So yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, I didn't realize that. That's great. My parents didn't start wars for no reason, and they certainly didn't make the gas prices rise to in excess of $4 per gallon. And but who am I to judge? You know what I mean? I'm just a humble talk show host that goes on tangents about reality sometimes, and that would be a bit of reality that I just injected into your morning / afternoon / evening time when you decide to watch this show later. So yeah, there we go, everybody. That's exactly what happened with Donnie T. He's back in the news. We've got a father in the news that likes to have a couple of drinks, little drinky poo. Yeah, by the way, let's pause real quick because apparently Dr. Fauci is he's being grilled today on the COVID-19 origins. He's sitting in front of senators right now, and they're taking turns just grilling him. Hundreds of pages of Fauci's COVID-19 pandemic era diary were made public ahead of the hearing. Said Biden issued preemptive pardon for Fauci days before he left the office in 2025, which I think we all knew about that. Critics say Fauci misled the public, mishandled restrictions, and lied about the COVID-19 origins. I thought it came from Wuhan, China, but that's what the world knows anyway. So who knows? And then, of course, Fauci denies any wrongdoing and claims that he has become a political target in this political witch hunt, is what he calls it. So yeah, that's going on right now. So if you want, tune into Fox News Live and watch the Senate hearings as they grill Dr. Fauci on the origins of COVID-19. It sounds like a soap opera. Next up on the origins of COVID-19, Dr. Fauci gets grilled by Rand Paul. Moving on. So anyway, this father likes to have a couple drinks, a little drinky poo. You know what I mean? Maybe a couple, 2, 3 too many. He likes to get behind the wheel of the car and drive with his kids in it. He's a real stand-up dude.
All new tonight, a father is charged in the death of his 2-year-old daughter who was left in a car for hours. This happened in Midland on Sunday. Police say 25-year-old Lorenzo Rodriguez had been sleeping apparently inside his home while his family members found his 2-year-old daughter alone in the car. She was pronounced dead at the hospital. Police say the family alleges that Rodriguez had been drinking the night before. According to noheatstroke.org, this is the first child to die in a hot car this year in the country.
So he goes out, he has a couple of drinky poos, you know what I mean? Puts his kid in the car, probably drives around a little bit, comes back home, gets out of the car, goes into his house, has a couple of more drinks, maybe a bourbon. Nah, he doesn't look like a bourbon drinker. Maybe a Negro Modelo, possibly some tequila. Maybe with the worm at the bottom of the bottle, but I doubt it because that stuff's expensive and he doesn't look like he could afford that. Yeah, so then he goes inside, just continues to drink more and more, locks the doors, and leaves his 2-year-old kid in the back seat to cook, fry like a piece of bacon. Father of the year right there, everybody. Father of the year. So yeah, he got charged with manslaughter, killing his own 2-year-old daughter by letting her roast in the back of his vehicle. So good job, buddy. You're a real piece of shit, just so you know. Now, speaking of piece of shit, this guy, he's a real douchebag, and I told you earlier I would get to this. So apparently there's a guy up in Wisconsin right now that was making accusations, or not accusations even, just making, saying, okay, well, I own this beer brewery / bar, and when Trump passes away, he said, I'm going to give free beer to everybody that comes in that supports it. And he got his license revoked over that. The state pulled his license to serve. And I was trying to find that story today so we could just talk about that in detail. And then I came across this douchebag that is reiterating the story in his own conservative view ways. And he is just, I'm just going to play it start to finish. It's not that long. It's only 48 seconds. But, and afterwards, I'm going to talk about how big of a douchebag this guy is and how unpopular of a kid he was in high school. And that's why he acts the way he acts today.
Wisconsin Brewing Company, who advertised free beer the day Trump dies and mourned the failed assassination attempts on his life, says that their permit to serve beer has been revoked. You can pause here and read their tweets encouraging political violence below. The brewery owner, Kirk Bangstad, a man with a criminal history for similar behavior, has vowed to fight this tooth and nail, but there's not much to fight considering the move comes after state officials seized all canned beer from Bangstad's company in June, alleging the beer was illegally transported from Illinois without securing the proper permits or paying the appropriate taxes. Unsurprisingly, liberals not only want people to cross borders illegally, but alcohol as well. Well, in Wisconsin, that's a big no-no, Mr. Bangstad. Good luck with your lack of revenue now that your license is revoked. Wisconsin.
The liberals apparently not only want the illegals to come into the country across the border, but the alcohol as well. That's a big no-no, Mr. Bangstad. What a fucking douche. And here's the problem. This is the problem that we have in this country right now. It's not that guy, all right? It's not even the owner of the bar that was promoting free beer upon Donald Trump's death. It's the fact that we exploit both of these sides extremely. And I'm doing the exact same thing right now. This guy, obviously he's lost his license, because he was, and he'll get it back. It's First Amendment, right? I don't know if that could necessarily be misunderstood or confused as terroristic threats, because he didn't really directly threaten anybody. He just said he was going to celebrate it. You know what I mean? So he'll get his license back. He'll take it as high as the court will go, and they'll rule the revocation of his license unconstitutional under the First Amendment, because he does have that protection. And then this other douchebag, the guy that thinks he's I don't even know that voice that he's using, Mr. President. You know what I mean? Sounds like he's a 1937 news radio reporter that's talking about the Hindenburg crash. He basically obviously objects to what he heard this bar owner do, and he's blown it up from the conservative point of view. So the divide is so strong between both sides, the liberals and the conservatives, that no one is right and no one is wrong in any of these scenarios. You know what I mean? I can say that right now. Was the guy right for saying, I'm going to give away free beer on, the day Donald Trump dies? Probably not. That's not a nice thing to say. And then was this douchebag right in saluting and saying, good luck with your income now, or whatever it was, with your business and having your license revoked? Both sides are just so ignorant to each other that it doesn't make any difference. And here's the thing: at the end of the day, you can make these political posts and political videos, and you can talk like the Hindenburg disaster radio guy. Oh my God, the humanity of it all, the humanity of it all. And you can sound like that guy, you know what I mean? Like this douchebag did. But at the end of the day, nothing is going to change, okay? So you can make your videos, state your opinion, talk about your point of view and your perspective, but nothing's going to change, you know what I mean? So why even bother? I just talk about funny stuff, you know what I mean? I don't talk about anything that's riveting or impacting. And I make fun of both sides. I made fun of Joe Biden, that I call him the Crypt Keeper, because he was the Crypt Keeper. I make fun of Donald Trump. He's just a blithering buffoon, you know what I mean, of a person in life and in the presidency, I'm sure. So, at the end of the day, I'm not taking sides on anyone's behalf. I'm just exploiting the humor of the scenarios that I bring up and talking about it then. So yeah, who knows? It's never going to get better. It's not going to change. So shut your fucking mouths and just and deal with what you have in front of you. How's that sound? Oh my God, have mercy. We're coming up to the end of the show, everybody. It's always a fun time hanging out with you. We're at about 28 minutes right now, so I do need to wrap this up. We'll have another show for you tomorrow, as we do every day. Keep liking, keep following, keep sharing, keep watching my reels, keep laughing at my humor. Follow us on all social media outlets: Guerrilla Radio Network on Facebook, Guerrilla Radio 47 on the Instagram machine, or you can subscribe and like our YouTube channel at OG Guerrilla Radio. I look forward to tomorrow and doing this again with you soon. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day. Don't work too hard. And if you do, tomorrow's another day. Talk to you guys tomorrow.
And I hate